What's up, guys? GrantHD here. Finally with the video for 2K12. Been really busy ever since I got the game. I finally did obviously get to record some footage, and here's the My Player. And unfortunately for the rookie showcase game, my footage got screwed up. I only have the end of the game. It wasn't too exciting though. I mean, just a lot of 3-pointers and some step back, mid-range action. But at the end of the video, you'll see I'm gonna go through my character and like what how I made him or whatever real quick, and you can see that. But he's basically a 3-point specialist. And actually, before these interviews start, I am gonna show you who my character or whatever is kind of inspired by. I'm gonna pause the footage right there. But yeah, real quick, I'm gonna show some highlight footage of Andrew Goudelock, I guess his name is pronounced. He was a draft pick for the Lakers. He's got some crazy 3-point range. I think he went to Charleston. Pretty sure. Yeah, he went to Charleston. Yeah, there's some little highlight footage of him, and he's kind of like how my player is kind of inspired. So yeah.
Cause the bitch smear the pillowcase with makeup. Money don't grow on trees, but it's what I break up. Paper cuts my only paid cuts, so go ahead and raise up. I'll pay your mask back, quicker than a halfback. Fuck with my duckies, you be lucky if you get to blast back. We quick off the draw, my lips is something off the wall. Keep your bitches in line, like all the stores in all the mall. We off the building through the stress, but never that in my chest. I'm too blessed in the spotlight, I'm wearing the S. Yeah, I need a lowest lane, but it's just for the sex. I know my lifestyle fly, but I ain't made for a nest. I'm made for the sky, made to get high, made for the heavens to overshadow seas on my flight. Man, I never met a woman who commit me to play. So until then, money over bitches, how we ride.
That baby, do what you gotta do. Make that paper. You know that I'm feeling you. Make 'em bow down, make 'em bow down, make 'em bow down. Make that paper.
So yeah, you can see that he has crazy range. I mean, he just jacks it up 3 feet behind the line. I know the college line is shorter than the NBA line. You can see he has a little driving game as well, which hopefully not hopefully, but yeah, my player will develop, a full offense, not just a pure shooter. He will definitely be able to drive and be more of a complete player. But I think his bread and butter will definitely be stuff like that, huge threes like that. So enough of these highlights though. Let's move on to the interview. First one is the Sacramento Kings, and you guys can watch that now.
Thanks for taking the time to answer my questions. We're picking 7th in the upcoming draft and are very interested in what you bring to the table. All right, let's get to it. As I'm sure you know, we feel we've got a great talent in Tyreke Evans. So many people are constantly asking us, do we or do we not see him as a point guard? We feel like his talents would be best utilized at the 2, with a distributor at the point feeding him the ball. Do you think that's a role you can play?
The chance to play alongside Tyreke and DeMarcus and the rest of the guys? Yeah, that's absolutely a role I can play. I feel like the 3 of us are young enough and good enough to put together an amazing run. To your question, I'd have no problem deferring to Tyreke and letting him do his thing.
Interesting. Next question. We realize that here in Sacramento, we don't have the appeal of a Los Angeles or a New York or Chicago. We tend to look for players who would be proud to be part of this organization. Someone who can really take pride in being a member of the Sacramento Kings. Someone who's willing to spend their entire career as a member of the Kings. Are you that person?
Yeah, I would be honored to be a member of this organization. From everything I've seen, you guys have a rabid fan base out in Sacktown. I'd love to be a leader on this team for the next decade.
And yeah, so the Kings, the answers I responded was positive. I think even though they do have Tyreke, and then since the draft isn't the draft class isn't real at all, thanks to the NBA lockout, there's no Jimmer Fredette or whatever on the team being drafted. So I think I'd actually basically fill the role that why they drafted Jimmer Fredette. I'm very similar, my player is very similar to Jimmer Fredette, so I guess this kind of makes sense. So yeah, they have, I think, the 7th overall pick, so it's a pretty good chance I guess I'd go there, but let's check out the other interviews.
Good game out there tonight, son. I'm the GM of the Raptors, and I must say I was impressed with your performance. We have the 5th pick in the draft, and I'm considering using it on you. I'd like to ask you a couple of questions real quick, if you don't mind. Aside from a few veterans, this is a very young team. We have a lot of guys that I really believe in, one of those guys being DeMar DeRozan, who plays the same position as you. How do you think you'd fit in with our current roster?
You'd be lucky to have me. That's how I think I'd fit in. The question you should be asking is, do I want to play in Toronto? Answer, nah. The way you worded that question makes me think you believe DeMar is a better player than me. That tells me a lot right there. I hear Toronto's a beautiful city, but it's no place for me right now. That's for sure.
Next question. We feel like we have a great young core in Andrea Bargnani, Ed Davis, and DeMar DeRozan. We would love to grow that core with another exceptional young talent. Do you think you can be that guy?
I don't think my game meshes too well with those guys. I mean, they're all so young and unproven at this point in their careers. I'd much rather jump into a situation with a little more veteran leadership. A place where I can master my craft by watching someone who's gone through the ringer a few times already. You feel me?
I appreciate your honesty answering my questions. Best of luck to you in the draft.
And yeah, sorry any Canadians watching this. I'm not a fan of the Raptors. It would have been kind of cool to go 5th overall, but the Raptors is just not a situation I want to be at. Chris Smoove actually in 2K, I think 11, he got drafted to the Raptors, and that turned out to be pretty terrible. They're just such a bad team right now, and it's just, I guess it would kind of fit to become a superstar on a really bad team, but of my choices so far, I thought the Kings were a better choice than the Raptors, so I had to give them bad answers. And you saw, like, it's kind of stupid how if you decline, wanting to be on a team, it makes you arrogant or whatever. They don't have, like, a non-arrogant way of not being on the team, but, whatever. That's fine. And then the third and final interview.
Good job out there tonight. I really appreciate you giving us a few minutes of your time. We have the 8th pick in the draft and are interested in your talents. We just want to pick your brain a little before we decide. Let's get to it. The team that we built here in Detroit was a rebuilding effort that didn't quite pan out. Obviously, it's difficult to predict the future, but I expect to see a fair amount of roster turnover as we work towards retooling the lineup for another rebuilding effort. How comfortable would you feel coming into a situation where the roster is in a state of flux?
Oh, that's not a problem for me at all. To me, that just says the people running the team want nothing less than titles. Plural. Titles. It'd be an honor for me to play for a team like that. I want to win, man. Badly.
All right then, one more. Being in the NBA brings a lot of responsibilities, and some people just aren't ready for it, if you know what I mean. What are your plans once you get that first paycheck?
Easy answer. My parents have spent their entire life putting me into the position I'm in right now. I want nothing more than to take care of them and make sure that the rest of their lives are as carefree as possible. I don't need glitz and glamour. I just need my loved ones cared for.
Thanks so much for your time. I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but we would be ecstatic if you're still on board when it's our turn to pick.
And yeah, the Pistons, I gave also positive remarks to them. I wouldn't be too happy to go to the Pistons, though. Of the 3 choices I have, which, by the way, I don't know if I really like how 2K did this, where you get, basically, it's 3 choices. I did actually see that if you basically go negative on all the interviews, like, tell them all to fuck off, basically, you can get drafted to other teams, so that would be a possibility, but I think the Kings actually would be a pretty good fit. So we'll see where I go in the draft. I'm going to cut all the way up to like the when the picks start, because the intro to the draft is kind of stupidly long and you don't really need to see it.
Select Nick Brown from Boston College. With the 6th pick in the 2011 NBA Draft, the Washington Wizards select Brad Mason from DePaul University. With the 7th pick in the 2011 NBA Draft, the Sacramento Kings select the 20-year-old shooting guard from San Diego State University.
There you have it. I'm going to the Sacramento Kings. It's kind of funny since my last name is King on the MyPlayer, not my real life last name, but just the MyPlayer last name. And yeah, so that's gonna be pretty sweet. I guess I'll be basically the Black Jimmer Fredette. And yeah, so also at the end of the video here, I'm having footage of just like me editing my character, not changing anything, but just showing, you know, how I created him. If you want to see anything specific, just pause the video. I think I also go over the skill points, or I add some skill points, put in some in consistency, and I think on ball D. And I'll try to keep that. I'm not going to do it every time I adjust my skill points, because that'll be a lot of times, but I will keep you guys updated on what, you know, how I change my stats to what. And overall for this MyPlayer, I'm not going to upload every game, but I am going to play every game. I'm not going to be skipping to key games or anything like that, because you lose skill points when you do that, so that's not good. I want my character, you know, get the best he can as quick as he can. So every, you know, 5 or 6 games I'll record one and then, you know, edit it together and upload it and give some commentary over it and kind of give a update on my MyPlayer. So yeah, that's about it for my MyPlayer. Leave in the comments what you guys did for your MyPlayer. I had a kind of a tough time deciding what I wanted to do with my MyPlayer, but if you guys remember last 2K11 for MyPlayer, I wanted to do a pure shooting, like 3-point specialist, kind of Ray Allen, Reggie Miller type character, and it just wasn't possible because of the no play calls, or no CPU calling play calls in the game. So unless you were a point guard, you couldn't call plays. And I think they patched it eventually. I'm not even sure if they did, but it's in the game this time, which is awesome, and you get to actually decide what plays are ran. It's great. Overall, 2K11 is awesome. The only gripe I have is they did kind of neuter the online, removing crew and some other modes, but I think they'll somehow put those back in the DLC. If they don't, you know, that kind of just sucks. But I'm not really an online player myself, so it's not the biggest deal for me. And also, the only other thing that sucks, which is out of 2K's control, was the fucking bullshit where they can't put any new players in or update the rosters at all. It's kind of crappy. Hopefully someone will do a good, you know, created roster you can download. I checked actually before I made this MyPlayer, and there wasn't any available, so couldn't really do that. I don't know how that would even interact with the MyPlayer, if it would even change the rookies getting drafted. I have a feeling it wouldn't. So but anyways, thanks for watching, and yeah, I should have a new video up pretty soon. I think the 2 other type of videos I'm going to do are either association type videos, and maybe a create a legend video, and maybe some of the like, I don't even know what the mode's called, where you play as legends. Those are pretty cool. I played a couple of those and it's pretty sweet. I might upload one of those. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching, and a new video will be coming out in the next couple of days. Thanks for watching, guys.